And welcome to the WJLX WJBE 2025 Wal-Win Football Awards, powered by Crawfish Warehouse in downtown Jasper, my favorite spot to watch a football game. I'm Nick Norris. With me, the voice of the Jasper Vikings, James Phillips, and the voices of the WJBE Wal-Win broadcast, Brian Hell, Zach McCullough. And we have gathered to honor some of the great players, coaches, and football teams of the Walker and Winston County area. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Man, it is an absolutely wonderful day to be passing out awards. I always love to do it. Love to do it.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year. Football's all wrapped up on the high school side. Everybody's in kind of the basketball state of mind. So we got to swing it back to football. That's the fun part.
What I always love about the awards is that we're going to tick some people off because they're not going to agree with what we say as far as who wins which award and things like that. But
Yes.
every kid that we're going to announce today totally deserves to be it. And there's others out there that we may have missed or have differing opinions on.
Sure.
But we went through this for several weeks now and broke it down into who we thought were the ones that needed that pat on the back. And I think we've come up with a pretty good group.
We have, and we're not just going to announce the winners either. We also want to give some shout-outs to some guys that we considered for each position, some runner-ups, some coaches that we want to recognize as well. We have a lot to talk about, guys, and the schools we're going to hit, of course, all the schools in the Walker and Winston County area. We are talking about Jasper High School, Addison, Carbon Hill, Cordova, Curry, Dora, Lynn, Meek, Oakman, and Winston County. And, of course, sort of the crown jewel this year of those teams, Addison, of course, with that 12-2 record, made it all the way to the semifinals. One of four of our teams that made it to the playoffs. Jasper had an 8-3 record, that first round appearance. Meek got all the way to the second round with an 8-4 record, and Winston County with that 5-6 record getting to the first round as well. Four of our teams make it into the postseason, and they deserve some recognition for that as well.
And I think, guys, what you're seeing in a lot of those is what's building stability right now. It's Addison. Yeah, this is Coach Hastings' first year, but Coach Evans, seamless transition from Coach Powell. Okay, Coach Simmons up there at Winston County, we've seen what he's doing in the past couple of years. And, guys, you guys have seen what has steadily been happening with Coach Reeves' era.
Yeah.
They are just absolutely all three teams that you're seeing stability built up.
Yeah, and that's the important part is you get a good coach in high school because there's going to be talent in your schools. It's roaming the halls. You just have to have the right guy who can bring that talent from the halls onto the playing field. And those four schools have the right man for the job, so that's why they're seeing such success.
Well, some of the awards we're going to be giving out today. We're going to have our special teams player of the year, our lineman of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year, head coach of the year, and the Wal-Win MVP. So we will go into all those. We'll announce those who were recommended, who were almost in the consideration or were in the consideration, and then we'll announce our winner as well. Before we do that, we are going to take a quick break. Thanks to our sponsor, Crawfish Warehouse. Guys, I watched the Iron Bowl there, and it was the most fun I've had in the Iron Bowl in a long time.
Oh, I bet that was electric.
It was a lot of fun. I'm planning on going to watch the second round of the playoffs there, the Rose Bowl as well. But for those of you that are over 21, they give out some free drinks for every touchdown. And if you're not 21, families are welcome in there. Go in there, have some great foods, great memories. It's a good crowd. It's a really fun place to watch football games. So definitely check it out. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to give out our first two awards, our Special Teams Player of the Year and our Lineman of the Year. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the WJLX and WJBE 2025 Wal-Win Football Awards powered by Crawfish Warehouse. We are about to get to our first two of our awards, and we're going to start with our Special Teams Player of the Week.
Of the year.
The year.
I'm sorry, of the year. Nobody played this week. All right. We have kicker Oliver Mosley of Jasper, who had a great year as a freshman, I believe. As was solid. I got to watch a lot of him this year as well as you did, James. Solid all year. I got to post a lot of graphics of him through Jasper High of all those kicks he made. We also have kicker Levi Fivas. Is that how you pronounce his last name? From Dora High School. Now, guys, you saw a lot more of him.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
solid
He
kicker.
was.
You know, it's something in high school. If you don't have a solid kicker, you're struggling. That's just a big advantage for a team to have. Not just on the extra points and the field goals, but kicking the ball off for field position. He helped win, their win of the year. He helped with that. So just a fantastic season for Fifus, who really I hadn't heard much about going in, and I was surprised. He's very solid, a good kicker.
Absolutely. And then we have one more here. We have Heath Miller of Curry. Now, he was the all-region kicker of the year. Also had 6 receptions. But, guys, he's not just the kicker. He is the kicker, the returner, the punter, the punt returner. Brian, as you said, a true specialist. Now, guys, as a Curry player, you guys get to see a lot more of him than James and I did. Tell us a little bit about Heath Miller as well.
He was a backbone. I mean, Zach can tell you, look, he was a great specialist. Return man, punting, kicking, all of that stuff. But then he would turn around on offense and he would make stellar plays from wide receiver or he would make the occasional pass. Defense, 6 interceptions. He is a true specialist.
Yeah.
He was the all-everything player, and at some points in his field goal kicking, he hit, what was that door? Was it a 43-yarder?
Yeah.
That he hit in a 10-point win that really shifted the momentum of that game, where Curry was either keeping in it, and then that gave him a lead that they would never relinquish, and that was a huge moment for him. Made more big field goals, but Brian mentioned that specialist mentality. He played quarterback the last few games of the year, and he was spectacular.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, he was a deep ball threat. If you let him by you, too late, touchdown. So he was Mr. Everything for Curry, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the future.
There are a lot of guys in high school and above that like to put their position as athlete. And he is a guy that
Yes,
truly
yes,
can.
yes.
He is
Absolutely.
the true definition. And our special teams player of the year does go to Heath Miller of Curry. And we will have our awards here. And Brian will be delivering those after the new year as well. So we will get those to you in time. But congratulations again, Heath Miller of Curry, all-region kicker of the year and all-around athlete.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great piece there for Curry. Excited to see what he does in the future. All right, we have another position before we go to another break. We have our lineman of the year. Now, being at Jasper High School, we got to see a lot of really impressive linemen this year, especially for a line that overall was considered a little undersized. A lot of great technique, a lot of heart those guys played with. But, of course, Jasper not the only one with some great linemen. We also had, while we're talking about Jasper, we had Grant Bailey. He was an all-star North team. He just signed with East Central Community College and got to play in that, like we said, that all-star game. And I talked to him. He said he had a lot of fun with it. It was him and Makai Pledger, teammates, got to go and do that. Just all around, it seemed like a good leader at Jasper High School, James. You probably have some more insight on him as well.
Yeah, Grant just played really well, and he was one of those. I mean, you talk about an athlete. You don't see a lot of linemen that you say is an athlete, but he moved around everywhere. He played offense, defense, special teams. He was the long snapper on special teams, if I'm not mistaken. He was also a defensive lineman on short yardage situations and came in and made big plays on defense. And then on offense, he was really the anchor of that offensive line that had some young guys on it, but he was the guy that they looked to for the leadership. And it just seems like a great kid.
Yeah, he is. And I'll say this from the media side. I run the Jasper High School media department. And there's not a kid on that football team that is better on camera. Like
Yeah.
he can get up there. He did a lot of our Jumbotron videos, if you saw those during the game.
Yeah.
A lot of our PSAs. He has such a great voice and is soft-spoken but clear. And man, he's awesome. I'm a big
And
Grant
Bailey
fan.
is signed with East Central Community College.
Yes.
But that's not going to be his last stop, because when you sign with those Mississippi community colleges, that's legit. I mean, they're as good as anybody. And so I really expect to see him, as he gets in there, he gets stronger and bigger. He'll go somewhere, maybe a Power 5 school.
That would be awesome. And we're rooting for him wherever he ends up. We also have Aiden Chug Benson of Meek. Now, you guys saw
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
more of Chug there. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, Chug, it was an absolute joy to watch. Not only is the fact that he's a great offensive lineman, but he ran the ball some this year and did it very effectively to the point that they started making it regular parts of the offense, kind of Caden Proctoring things, Zach.
Oh, absolutely. He was a great offensive lineman, defensive lineman as well. He'd get after the quarterback. I remember against Carbon Hill, their quarterback Dayton Miller, who was an elusive fleet of foot. He was running for his life with Chug steaming up the middle at him. If I'm a quarterback, that's full panic mode. When that guy is running at you and he could catch you. So offensive lineman, he's good. Defensive lineman, he's good. They put him in at fullback against Addison, and he has a 70-yard touchdown run. Daniel Evans said, I thought about it. Maybe we should try to incorporate him a little more. They did, and they would line up in, as Brian would call it, the juggernaut formation, kind of a Maryland I guess.
Yep.
2 fullbacks and 1 running back, and oftentimes he was the running back all the way at the back, and they'd give it to him, he'd be gone. Maybe the fastest guy on the field at times. Just an absolute nightmare for an opposing coach.
I got to meet Chug at one of our coaches' shows of the week at Crawfish Warehouse. And he again, another media guy. That these kids, man, today they know how to get in front of a camera and talk. But he was him and Evans got to cut up a little bit, and Evans kind of talked about his role and his evolution of his role, and man, just it seemed like a guy that understood that he was never somebody that was supposed to touch the ball necessarily, and so as soon as he got his opportunity, took full advantage of it and proved that no, actually he should be touching the ball, and getting to talk to him a little bit about that and the excitement on his face of just thinking about getting the rock, man.
Absolutely.
He seemed like a cool guy and a tough football player. We also have from Winston County, Austin Schubert, and you guys also got to see a little bit of Austin.
Yeah, and obviously with the amount of yardage and the prolific offense that Winston County had this year, there's got to be a big bell cow that's up there anchoring the line and doing it, and that was Will Schubert. I mean, he was absolutely a monster at the position.
Yeah, I saw Schubert when Winston County played Curry earlier in the year, and that's a low-scoring, grinded-out game. A game that if Curry was going to win, they needed to make some plays on defense, get after the quarterback, but nobody could really touch Will Elliott, and it was because Austin Schubert's anchoring that offensive line, really a strong suit of that team, at least in that game. He was a game changer for them. He was why they were able to score a few touchdowns and win that game. So he helped carry them to that playoff. I know it's a bit of a down year for Winston County. They went undefeated last year, and this year 5-6, but they'll step back up. I'm sure they will.
Well, our winner of Lineman of the Year goes to Jasper's Grant Bailey, the All-Star North and East Central Community College signee. Congratulations, Grant, there at Jasper High School. We will get you that right after the new year, and we can't wait to see what all you are able to accomplish post high school career.
Absolutely.
So we will keep an eye on Grant, and again, congratulations not just on that. On the award today, but for signing to go play at the next level. That is a big deal. I don't care where you go play.
Yeah, and community
Absolutely.
college, especially with these waivers that are coming in, after community college, if you want to play high-level college football, you don't just have 2 years. Now you can file for a 3rd and 4th year.
That's right.
So he could be playing football at a high level for a long time, and that's great for Grant.
Well, congratulations to our first two winners, Heath Miller of Curry, Grant Bailey of Jasper. When we come back, we're going to look at our defensive and offensive players of the year, 2 awards I am very excited to talk about, and we'll probably talk about those pretty extensively. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on WJLX. And welcome back to the WJLX and WJBE 2025 Wal-Win Football Awards. I'm Nick Norris. With me, James Phillips, Brian Hell, Zach McCullough. And we have already given out our awards for Special Teams Player of the Year, which went to Heath Miller of Curry, and our Lineman of the Year, which went to Jasper's Grant Bailey. We're going to get to two more in this segment. First, our Defensive Player of the Year. Our finalists are Jalen McCullum of Jasper, a defensive back there who had a great year, and I feel like I was posting interception graphics 3 times a game, every game. James, you saw a lot of Jalen there. Talk about a little bit you saw from the booth and what you can speak to for Jalen McCullum.
Yeah, Jalen's one of those guys that, like, he was just going to make a big play. When Jasper needed a big play on defense, he was one of those guys that always stepped up and made one, whether it was an interception, a fumble recovery, causing a fumble, big tackle. He was all over the place. And another guy that was kind of with him in that same light is Cortez Samuels. Yes. They both played really well together, but Jalen seemed to be the guy that really, when there was a big play that had to come, he was the one that got it. And he was our Defensive Player of the Year twice during the season.
Yeah, and that's
Player of the Week. Sorry, me and Nick aren't good on time and dates. But yeah, you know, he was 2 times during the season. He was Defensive Player of the Week, and probably could have been another couple times.
Yeah. There was a couple times. I know he was mentioned just about every week as a possible winner of it. Yes. As far as my relationship with Jalen, you know, I've got to talk to him a few times and interview him on some stuff, and man, just a humble kid, a kid that doesn't even really always like to get up there and just talk about himself. Usually if you ask him one of his favorite plays of the week, he's going to shout out somebody else, you know, which is really cool because if anybody else was shouting out plays, it was probably one of his because he was just so dominant on the defense. A very worthy finalist there in Jalen McCullum. Another finalist we have out of Addison is Connor Lane. Now, he led the team in tackles, which you lead Addison in tackles, and that is a big accomplishment in its own. He had 70. He had 4 for loss, 10 interceptions, 3 defensive touchdowns. You guys got to see a lot more of Connor Lane than me and James got to. Tell us a little bit about Lane there.
well, the third statistic there is the big one: 10 interceptions. That's a sophomore making 10 interceptions. Yeah, he leads the team in tackles, but my goodness, how many games pivoted because he made an interception and the momentum went to Addison. 3 defensive touchdowns also. Zach, we saw Connor. Every time a pass was thrown up, I was just wondering, is he going to get another one?
Yeah, well, Connor was your guy. You've mentioned at the top of every broadcast, watch out for this guy, and with good reason, because he's going to make an impact, not just with the interceptions, but 70 tackles. That's impressive. And 3 defensive touchdowns. That's fantastic. Swinging the momentum. As you said, Brian, Connor Lane, just a game changer of a defensive back. And a sophomore, he's got a lot more interceptions to get in his career. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next couple of years.
When we talk about just hard-nosed, true defensive football in Walker and Winston County, the first name that I think anybody would think of is Addison.
Yes.
I mean, that has been their identity since they started their football program. And to be able to lead Addison in any defensive statistics, but especially tackles, it means that you're a true hard-nosed guy, and you're getting in there every play.
He led them in every category.
It does. It sounds like he led them in every category. I don't know if I have that there, but I highly doubt there's anybody had more than 10 interceptions. I can't imagine.
I think he was one of the tops in the state with 10 interceptions.
Yes.
Another finalist we have from Cordova, defensive back Nick Kane. Tell us a little bit about what you saw out of Kane there in Cordova.
Well, Cordova really needed some type of leadership this year. Defensively, Nick Kane really did a whole lot for them. The Blue Devils, they had a little bit of a struggling year this year, but he was solid. That's exactly what you need to build for the future. You need those solid leaders to step up and show those younger guys, hey, this is how we do things, not only on the field but off the field. That's exactly what Nick Kane was for Cordova.
You mentioned solid. That's the word to describe him. He was in on all kinds of tackles. Good player on offensive side of the ball as well. Nick Kane for Cordova. It was a year, as we've seen in the past few years for Cordova, their defense carries the team, and he's part of the reason why. Just making plays when they have to have them. And that's why they were able to have a bit of a better season, 3-7. It's better than where they have been, and Cordova's working in the right direction. And it's because of leaders like Nick Kane on the team.
Yeah, and those are the guys that that don't always get all the credit they deserve when you're on a team that maybe the record doesn't reflect their effort. You know, those are foundational guys who future teams, when they do have those records, will be able to look back and think, even if they don't get the recognition now, those teams and those players will appreciate them for what they have done, and especially the coaches will as well. We have a linebacker out of Lynn, Chip Crow, which I love that name.
Oh,
Chip
absolutely.
Crow. Great name. Tell us a little bit you saw out of Chip.
Well, he was an absolute monster on defense. Like Kane, he's just getting in on every play, able to make a lot of big tackles, making big hits. He's able to put that out on the table. And then on offense, we're talking about MVPs. This guy on offense, when their starting quarterback got hurt, he filled in as a Wildcat quarterback and had some success. The offense did a really good job while he was running plays. So Crow, just a physical defender, just the kind of thing Steve Cagle wants at Lynn. Steve Cagle, I think you could put him out on the field and he'd be maybe the most physical guy. So he loves having Chip out there under him.
Yeah. Chip Crow, just a great name. I love an alliteration name. I love comic books. It's a very comic booky name there.
Yeah.
Chip Crow. Awesome name. All right. Our defensive player of the year. We have every one of these finalists are worthy, and they all should be proud. But our award is going to defensive back Connor Lane from Addison. Congratulations. We will get you that award after the new year. But like we said, that 70 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 10 interceptions, 3 defensive touchdowns.
As a sophomore.
As a sophomore, I mean, a single defensive touchdown is what most guys dream of and don't achieve. But that 3 in a season is incredible. Congratulations to Connor Lane. Well deserved, and we will get you that award after the new year. We have one more award before the break. Our offensive player of the year. We're going to start out at Meek with a running back, Hunter Wyatt. Now, I am always a big proponent of running backs winning any sort of offensive award because it feels like offensive awards are often quarterback awards.
Right.
And to be fair, the quarterback is the leader of the team. And a lot of times they do most of the leg work as far as getting the ball moved around. But if there is a worthy running back, I love to see it. Now, this running back out of Meek, Hunter Wyatt, tell us a little bit about what you saw from him.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
If I'm a quarterback, and if I'm Evan McKay, the quarterback at Meek, if I'm him, when I'm dropping back and I'm under pressure, I want somebody to throw the ball to. And you need a good running back who can catch passes out of the backfield. And Hunter Wyatt was spectacular in that respect. But also just as a straight-up running back. He had 2 fullbacks ahead of him a lot of the time. Other times when they're in the shotgun, he's beside his quarterback, kind of the sidecar. And whenever you hand the ball to him, he's full steam ahead, right downfield, picking up big yardage. Hunter Wyatt, his stats, really, it might be a bit of a down year compared to how great he was last year. But Hunter Wyatt, nonetheless, just a fantastic impact player for the Tigers.
And he has great ball vision. I mean, when he gets out there, he will see the open hole. He will go dead to it. And if he does not see that, he'll jump quickly to the outside. I mean, he was really talented as far as his ability to see the field.
And that is such a crucial thing, especially for scouts. I mean, if you got great ball vision, I'm thinking about guys like Trent Richardson, who at Alabama was so dominant, one because of his strength and his mobility, but he was so good at just finding the holes. And then once he got to the NFL, started to lose his sight, and you saw how much he regressed because he didn't have that vision. I mean, that is such a profound thing for a running back to have, and if he has that, then he has so much potential ahead of him. So Hunter Wyatt out of Meek, a finalist there for us. Another running back we have, Jacoby Foster from Dora. Tell us a little bit about what you saw from Foster.
Foster, the Dora offense, and I'm not trying to put your alma mater down, it struggled at times this year. But when he really got the ball, that was the bright spot of the offense. He was able to make big plays, and he had a fantastic year, a player that really, I know you can't take a lot of positives out of the season, but if you're going to find one, he is a good one to find. At running back, helping out Ashton Davis, and Davis is a pretty mobile quarterback as well. So the running game for Dora was really their strength, and Foster was a big part of that.
Yeah, and Jacoby, we saw him. He showed a lot of fortitude as this season went on. He never, ever, ever gave up, and you saw constantly hard work from him week in and week out. What happened with the rest of the team, that did not affect him. He was showing up every single game, giving everything that he had, And that was the epitome of a true leader.
And he's a heck of a returnman too.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
shifty, elusive. He had a 70-yard punt return where he was hit. As soon as he caught the ball, he's hit and he stays on his feet, takes it to the house against Haleyville. Did get called back for a penalty, but it was no fault of his own. Just an electric player when he got his hands on the football.
I bet he still got it on Huddle there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know
Oh,
it.
yes.
I bet he does. We have another running back, guys. I guess y'all appreciate
I love
running
running
backs
backs.
as much
I
as
love
I
running
do. Out of Oakman, Tyler Thomas. Now, this guy, he had over 200 carries, over 1,800 yards, nearly 30 touchdowns with 28 of them. Tell us a little bit about what stood out to you about Thomas.
Easiest way to say it, if anybody has known Derrick Henry throughout his career, that's what Tyler Thomas looks like going through defenses. He runs over defenses. He makes defenders absolutely pay. And then at the same time, as far as his leadership goes, impeccable. Quiet, strong leader, exactly a backbone for the team.
Oh, and Tyler Thomas. Whenever you handed him the ball, he was going to be, as you mentioned, a force to be reckoned with. You talk about Derrick Henry. One thing I remember of Derrick Henry was he got stronger as the game went on. Tyler Thomas is the same way. If he's still on his feet in the fourth quarter, the defense has no chance to stop him because you hand it to him, he's going to take it. I saw that against midfield. The midfield defense was exhausted by the fourth quarter. Tyler Thomas looked like he hadn't broken a sweat. He was all over them. That's why they were able to win that game and stay kind of in the playoff hunt for a while longer. Thomas, we're used to him by now. He's been a star running back for 3 or 4 years now at Oakman. First under Ryan Hall, now under Ben Painter. He's a player they're going to miss, but just what he was able to do this year is fantastic. When defenses knew he was coming, they still couldn't stop him.
And we do have a quarterback on the list.
Okay?
Don't worry.
You got to have a quarterback somewhere.
And we have junior from Jasper, Lincoln Smothers, who, James, you can attest to, has a reliable arm, great speed, agility, legs. Tell us a little bit about what Smothers did for this team this year.
Well, honestly, Smothers did a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And he was a great leader on the field, great leader in the locker room, but then he could throw the ball, he could run the ball, incredibly fast. And you wouldn't think so. Even just calling the game, you see him start leaving the pocket, and the next thing you know, he's scoring a touchdown that was 70 yards, just a really, really quick guy, and made good decisions out there. He very few interceptions on the year, and spread the ball around, got it to so many different people. Smothers was really, and I really think we've not seen the best of him. I think next year as a senior, there's no telling what he can do.
And he is a guy who, and I know we've talked a little bit about some of these guys being humble, and I know all these guys are great kids, but he is a guy that refuses to take any personal credit.
Yeah,
Like,
he will not.
He will not. He is always going to prop up his linemen. He's going to prop up his receivers, the defense. I mean, even when he would be one of the players of the week, and we would ask him, what plays got you player of the week? He's like, I don't know. It shouldn't have been me. So it should have been this guy or this guy. I mean, it should have been him. It should have been Smothers.
Right.
And he will not take credit because he wants to prop up his team. I mean, you couldn't ask for more of a true quarterback sort of leadership mentality from anybody else. I mean, he has that covered, and you combine that with the legs and the speed and the arm. I mean, yeah, I think his best is yet to come.
Well, and he's another one of those guys that we mention him almost every week as a possible candidate for player of the week.
Yeah.
Every week we bring him up because he was so consistent. It was like 150 yards passed and a couple touchdowns, 100 yards rushing and a couple touchdowns every game. So great year for Smothers for sure.
Great year for Smothers. I know he's turning it up on the court right now as well, and I can't wait to see what he does in his senior year there on the field. All right, we have our finalists. Our offensive player of the year is going to running back Oakman's Tyler Thomas. Again, 203 carries, 1,809 yards, 28 touchdowns. Congratulations to Tyler Thomas. Well-deserved there from Oakman High School.
And guys, I wish that Tyler was not a senior. I wish we had a couple more years of him. But really that senior leadership, when you got guys like Hampton Hall and Barrett Painter that are very young, they needed that leadership, and he brought it to them.
He did, and his athleticism, unparalleled. You don't see that in 3A ball a lot, to have a guy like Tyler Thomas. You see him on the basketball court. He's dunking over everybody. He can jump. He can run. He's the fastest guy on the field, but he's a leader, and that's what they really needed in Ben Painter's first year was a proven leader, and they had that in Tyler Thomas. Now he's passing the mantle off to some of the younger guys, and I'm looking forward to see how Oakman handles it. Do they start throwing the ball more, or do they have a new running back they can give the ball to? Looking forward to seeing how they address that in the future.
Well, speaking of coachings, when we come back from the break, we're going to be looking at our head coach of the year, and then finally our Wal-Win MVP. So 2 huge awards left. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take 10 seconds for station identification, then we're going to take a break. And we'll be back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. Right here on WJLX. And welcome back to the WJLX and WJBE 2025 Wal-Win Football Awards. Nick Norris, James Phillips, Zach McCullough, Brian Hell. We are all here, and we are down to just 2 more awards. But let's go ahead and break down and recap our winners so far. Special Teams Player of the Year went to kicker, returner, punter, punt returner, Heath Miller of Curry. Our lineman of the year went to Jasper's Grant Bailey, who's going on to play at the next level. Defensive Player of the Year went to Addison defensive back Connor Lane, who had just some insane stats: 70 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 10 interceptions, 3 defensive touchdowns. And Offensive Player of the Year went to running back Tyler Thomas of Oakman with over 1,800 yards and nearly 30 touchdowns on the year. And guys, that brings us to our Head Coach of the Year, our next award to give. And a reminder, everyone who gets these awards, we will pass them out after the new year. Brian Hell will personally deliver them with and they also won a brand new car that Brian Hell will personally pay for.
He will personally pay for?
Yeah, it's one of the Matchbox limited editions.
There we go.
Absolutely.
There we go.
No, but these awards are nice.
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
I can show this now because Connor Lane has won, but we have our very, very nice, very sturdy frame here, and beautifully designed award as well. There's Grant Bailey's.
Yeah, and if Brian's going to personally deliver it, that's just icing on the cake. To get to see Brian is always wonderful. A lot better than getting to see
And
James.
he doesn't even have to sign it because he already has. So you don't even have to ask for his autograph
Boy,
there.
it's getting deep in here.
Oh, the rest of the school will be asking for his autograph.
Of course.
They'll be, Brian will get a cramp in his hand because so many people want to get the picture made or him sign things.
No, there's going to be a lot of broken ankles because people are running away.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Our Head Coach of the Year finalists. We have David Reeves of Jasper. Now, Jasper had a great year, and talk about a comeback from being 1-9 not too long ago, now making it to the playoffs, 8-3 record. Really even a better team than the record even shows there. Talk about what David Reeves has done for this program.
You know, that first year, I think everybody was like, this guy came from UAB? Like, you know, like, we're 1-9. But, you know, seeing where the program was at, and it was kind of on a downward progression there. Just not several of the athletes weren't coming out, things like that. Coach Reeves has done a really good job of getting players out. Their numbers are still not where you'd really want to see a 6A school. I think they had maybe 50 players this year,
Less.
something like that.
We're in the 40s.
Yeah, so, you know, but he's done a great job of getting the right folks out. Putting them, one thing that I have been very impressed with, I don't know if it's him or his assistant coach, his whole staff, whatever, they're putting people in the right positions to make plays because everybody on that team made plays. It was so hard going through looking at players for Jasper because a lot of people were just equal, whether it was offense, defense, whatever. But I think Coach Reeves has done a fantastic job this year, getting the 8 wins. It's an improvement from last year, making it to that first round of the playoffs. And can't wait to see what next year will bring.
I think what impresses me the most about Coach Reeves is that he doesn't have a high school football coach mindset. I mean, he breaks things down and micromanages. That sounds like a negative word, but it's really in a positive way. On the level of a college coach.
Right.
I mean, and I see that from the media team of him when it's pregame and he's even being like, okay, hey, Nick, do you have this going and this going and this going for the Jumbotron? We want to run out here, here, here. It needs to be at this time, this time, this time.
Right.
Whereas I've been at high schools where the head coach is like, yeah, let's play whatever, just whatever.
Right.
We'll head out there around, 6:58 or whatever.
And the thing that you said, like micromanaging, it's not in a negative way.
Right.
It's not like he stays on top of his assistant coaches. He's hired the right people, and he lets them do their jobs.
Yes, it's more so just being so prepared.
Right.
And that's what you want in a real program.
And to Coach Reeves' credit, I'll say this, speaking of UAB, they have not been the same since he left. He was their defensive coordinator, and since he left, UAB has not been that good at all. So they're hurting. They miss him.
That's
I'm
right.
Glad, I'm glad he's here. He's a fantastic guy, great coach, and a worthy finalist.
We have a good friend of mine, and I know a good friend of all our shows here, Daniel Evans of Meek. He was one of my coaches when I was in high school, an assistant coach, and I've been so proud, man, to see him be so successful as a head coach at Meek, like you said, taking over for Coach Daniel Powell there, and getting to the playoffs, not just the playoffs, but the second round this year, with a lot of injuries in the back half of that season.
Yeah, and they really, as the year went on, you saw that stability come from the leadership that Coach Evans was providing. I'm telling you what, there has been it's been seamless at Meek for the past few years. It has been good, stable leadership, and Coach Evans has really brought that out. Enjoy working with him. He is a real joy, as you mentioned, to work with, and you could see the effect that he has on his players.
Speaking of that transition, so Meek, 5 years ago or so, they're not good. 0-10, 1-9 every single year. Then Houston Powell gets there, turns the program around. They have an undefeated regular season. Well, he leaves, and my first thought is, well, there goes Meek. Who are they going to hire to replace him? They found the right guy on that staff. Daniel Evans, just a class act, first of all. You know, one of my favorite coaches around here. He is such a good guy. But he knows the game. He knows how to put players in the right position to maximize their success. And he is built for success at Meek. He's built something very sustainable. So if you're a Meek fan, there's nobody better to lead your program.
And he is a guy that likes to take some risks too. You know, he's almost in a like Dan Campbell sort of way. You know, he doesn't mind, like we said, moving guys around, taking a lineman and handing them the rock. You know, he's somebody that gets creative and will just try stuff in practice. Sometimes maybe throw some stuff at the wall, see what sticks, and find some pleasant surprises there.
That juggernaut formation, the variation of the Maryland eye itself was innovative.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
He lets his team evolve over the season. He's not afraid to move fast, break things, change things, and he's really been able to do a very successful job because 2 years ago he starts the year 0-3. Well, they make it to the second round of the playoff. They don't lose again until they face Wadley in the second round of the playoffs. This last year they start 1-2. Same thing. They lose to a ranked Addison team and then to Wadley, and that's it. They sweep the rest of the schedule. So he can turn around a bad start. So you're never out of the playoff hunt, and you could be like 2 years ago, you start 0-3 and you wind up hosting a playoff game. He can turn his team around because of that innovative mindset.
Absolutely, and that is valuable in a head coach. We also have from Curry, Jace Cordell. Now, Curry, of course, did not have the record they wanted, 3-7, but talk a little bit about Jace Cordell, how he has been turning Curry around and what you see in the future for him.
Well, before this year, they had won 3 games one game over a 2-year period.
Right.
This year, going into the Fultondale game, they very much could have still made the playoffs. That is a tremendous resurgence, especially considering the area that they're in with Hamilton and Dora and Cordova. They got some good quality wins out there, and it just shows that they are really turning the ball. Coach Cordell has that program moving in the right direction.
And that starts, for Coach Cordell, it starts in the weight room. You got to get your guys big enough to go out there and compete with the Good Hopes of the world, the Fett Counties of the world, the Hamiltons of the world. And he was able to do that. They're winning all these weight competitions in the off season, but it really had not translated into on-field success. So they start this year, don't know what the expectations are. Well, they boat race Carbon Hill, their big rival, in the first game. Think, okay, they could be onto something. Then they're able to beat Dora. They're able to beat Haleyville. They go into that Fultondale game, last game of the year, thinking you win, you make the playoffs. It's not something Curry's been doing the last few years. They have not been having that kind of success, and they found the right guy in Jace Cordell. He loves the game. He can put players where they need to be to succeed. That's why Heath Miller's all over the field, because you plug him in and he can fix a lot of things. So Cordell is just a great coach for Curry. He fits the Curry program perfectly, and he's going to have a lot of success in the future.
It takes a lot of skill, a lot of dedication, and a lot of heart to be able to stabilize a program that has been on a downward spiral. Not only was in this year being able to stabilize it, but it's rising. And like we had talked about earlier, these teams that maybe don't have a beautiful record, but still have made a true change. Those are the ones that future teams will look back on and say, that was the foundation to where we are now. And that is what Coach Cordell has a chance to continue doing there at Curry. One more finalist we have from Addison, Mark Hastings. Now, this was his first year at Addison, and that didn't stop them from going 12-2 and making it to the semifinals. Talk a little bit about Coach Hastings, how he coaches, and what he means to that program.
Well, I started covering Coach Hastings back in 2008 when he just arrived to the Wal-Win area as the head coach at Oakman. He built absolute success there for a couple of years. He left the area. He came back as the Lynn coach. Tremendously successful year. His first year at Addison, he goes 12-2 and goes to the 4th round of the playoffs. Does anything else need to be said?
And that's with a very young team. He has a lot of talent. You mentioned Connor Lane, our Defensive Player of the Year. The guy's a sophomore. This team's only going to get better in the future, and it's a 1A now that, in 1A North now that Wadley's lost most of their talent. 1A North is wide open. It's going to be Addison and Hubbardville most likely in the next couple of years fighting for a spot in the state championship game. Mark Hastings, you look back at his career, you've been covering him since he was at Oakman in 08. That's a long time. I wasn't even alive when that season started. So he wins everywhere he is. But now his one thing he had never won his first year places. His first year at Oakman, not great. His first year at Hale County, not great. His first year at Lynn, not great. Then he got it turned around. But the thing is, all those programs had really not had any success in the past few years before he got there. This year, he takes over a program that was in the playoffs last year in Addison,
Right.
and I wondered, is he going to be able to really have a great first year? He exceeded everybody's expectations to the semifinals, had a chance to beat Wadley. Like, that was a close game, only an 8-point game. So what he's been able to do is just mind-blowing. He is one of the best coaches in the state, in my opinion.
And you are going into a program that has expectations.
Right.
Like you said, they made the playoffs, but not just that. Addison has a history.
Yeah, they
I mean, you will see guys in the stands that graduated in '56 wearing their Letterman. You know, so this is a place that has expectations. Hastings, I think you've raised those expectations for the modern era. I mean, Addison is a place with a lot of history, but you're talking about a team that runs hard-nosed football. That's a hard way to win in the current football landscape. And he not only was able to air the ball out, but to raise the bar for Addison. That's a huge accomplishment.
And I'm going to give him a nod for the unofficial year of the award. JP, you will probably remember this very well. We asked him at media days at his appearance at Crawfish Warehouse about players, keeping them interested, staying in the program. How does he and his assistants keep that going? His response, our kids at Addison want to play Addison football. And it resonated because so many times across the field, we see so many teams that are losing. You and James just talked, Nick, about the problems of getting these players, getting fully stocked rosters. To hear that is amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I think the biggest thing that Hastings did this year, he introduced the Addison program to the forward pass.
Yeah.
No?
Because that's got to be the most passing yards
Oh, yeah.
Addison's
yeah.
ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
But they had a great year. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we kind of knew they could be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But then as it continued to go forward, it was like, yeah, this thing's really good.
Yeah. And this is how you bring Addison into the modern era. You
Right.
keep that hard-nosed mentality, but you spice it up a little bit. You're not afraid to air it out. You're not afraid to take some shots. And man, it worked out for him. I can't wait to see that continue. All right, our head coach of the year, of course, goes to Addison's Mark Hastings. Well-deserved. There was no other real option there.
Guys, just one of the best. James is talking about introducing to the forward pass. Before the season, one of the players told me, that's what I'm looking forward to. We're going to throw the ball this year. So the players are buying in because of that. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Something else that makes it fun, it's a little underrated, it's called winning. When you win football games, that makes it fun. So you talk about their numbers. They had 40-something players, as much as Jasper did. They had a lot of players, and that's going to go up even more because people are going to want to play for that guy. He is a fantastic coach.
Our final and perhaps biggest award, our Wal-Win MVP, Most Valuable Player. This can go to offensive, defense, anybody.
And it's not just about stats. It's about leadership, and it's about character. This is almost like our Heisman.
Let's go through our finalists. We have quarterback from Addison, Elijah Roberts. Tell us, we talked extensively about Addison, the importance of being able to throw it, maybe being the first, we imagine probably has the most passing yards of any Addison quarterback. Talk a little bit about Roberts in particular, though.
Well, when you talk about total offensive yards, he had somewhere close to 3,000. I mean, it was absolutely insane amount of numbers. To me, though, if you look, his touchdown to interception ratio was something like 19-3. That is incredible. 19-3. He's still got another year to grow. Honestly, guys, Elijah has such a ceiling. I have no idea what we're going to see from this guy.
And not only is it throwing the ball with Elijah Roberts, this guy can run. He's a fast athlete. He had, if you count passing and rushing touchdowns, he had over 30 on the year. The guy was fantastic. And the interceptions, did not make mistakes. Maybe 3 or 4 interceptions the whole year. Now, I will say in one game I saw him with a pick 6. Not that he threw it. He intercepted the pass and ran it back. He's on defense, too. And he is a standout safety. So Elijah Roberts is a do-everything guy for the Bulldogs that is going to be so crucial to their success.
Well, if we're talking about do everything guys that can run, let's talk about our other finalist, running back Mekhi Pledger out of Jasper, 4-year starter at Jasper High School, which is that is a huge accomplishment in itself. We're talking about a guy who has went through coaches changes, who's went through classification jumps, 548 carries. This is throughout his career, 4,293 yards, 57 touchdowns. And then he catches the ball, too. He's got over 1,000 yards receiving. What did Mekhi mean to this team?
Mekhi was everything to this team. Like, I said earlier that they were so balanced, and they were, but Mekhi was the one that you always look to. And he's such a leader. He's not the most vocal guy in the world, but you can see during the games, as Woody and I were calling the games, you could see he needed to get vocal when he needed to get vocal. And all the other kids would look straight at him and be like, yeah, okay, we can all run through a wall now. Yeah. And that's what he did. He throughout his entire career, even as a freshman running the football, he went out there with no fear. And he's not the biggest guy in the world
No,
either.
yeah.
And then on top of all that, he's a great student. I think he's got a 4.0 GPA. And I've never heard anybody, coaches, teachers, other players, other students, I've never heard anybody say a bad thing about Pledger.
No, I've got to work a lot with Pledger on the media sides of things, and man, just we ask these players to do a lot of dumb things they don't want to do. Mm-hmm. They got to do interviews and they got to do little clips. Always willing to do it, never complains, man. I mean, he's a trooper. And we're talking about that All-Star North game. He was also at that game, and from what I understand, we had a coach call Jasper High School and say Pledger is not a secret anymore. He stood out there and he got some eyes on him, and I hope that he goes and gets to have a lot of fun at the next level as well. And you talked about not the biggest guy, but what excites me about Pledger is he has the frame to be a bigger guy. He's got the frame to, once he gets into a college program, to really pack some muscle quick, and I'm excited to see how he can develop if he chooses to continue playing.
Well, and he's got offers from good schools like UAB, Jacksonville State. Seems like there was one other that's already offered him. And then there's a chance he may go the JUCO route as well because of what Zach talked about earlier about having more years of eligibility. He could go the JUCO route and then end up in a Power 5 school.
Sure.
And so I would not be surprised at all if we didn't see Pledger playing in the SEC one day.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Go ahead and get your signatures now, your autographs now. Another quarterback out of Winston County. We've got Will Elliott, and that is a quarterback name, if you've ever heard one there. Winston County made it to the first round this year. Talk a little bit about Elliott.
Will Elliott, he is muscular, big guy. He can run the ball. He's a solid passer, run you over kind of runner, by the way. Typical. You could run quarterback runs with him, and there was no problem in the world. Also very good on defense. Will Elliott really kept that offense going without Chris Clemens. He graduates, and you figured the offense would take a step down. He really softened the blow. He was able to kind of do everything, the do-all, be-all kind of quarterback that Winston County really needed this year, and he was able to lead his team to the playoffs. So he's a deserving candidate.
Absolutely. And our final finalist out of Meat, quarterback Evan McKay. Tell us a little bit about Evan.
Well, Evan, just a lot like Elijah Roberts, did not throw hardly any interceptions. I think his ratio was somewhere around 21-5, something like that, which is still very, very, very good, very decisive with the ball. And the thing about it is he was more of a complimentary passer. When they needed the big plays like that and they needed it away from the run game, that's who they turned to, Evan McKay, and he would deliver. I think he had just a shade over 1,000 yards passing for the year. Very complimentary, exactly what you needed, but the leadership. He was able to hone that, take care of it really well. Evan McKay was a great, great, great quarterback, and I tell you what, Meek was solid because of him.
Hey, Evan, he was, like you said, he was very complimentary. He could throw the ball. He could get the ball where he needed to go. But talking about players that aren't that big, he's not a big guy. But he had tenacity. He would take a hit, no problem. He would take big hits, especially they played Wadley and Addison and big muscular teams. he would take those hits and he'd pop right back up, back in the huddle, back leading his team. Didn't get flustered, just a solid quarterback. He's been starting at Meek, it feels like forever. They're going to miss him when he's gone, but man, he is a fantastic player.
Well, all these guys are deserving in their own right, but we can only have one Wal-Win MVP. And the Wal-Win MVP for 2025 is going to Jasper running back, Mekhi Pledger, well-deserved. We're talking about over 4,000 yards in his career, over 60 touchdowns, 1,000 yards receiving. Congratulations, Mekhi Pledger. We will get you your award after the new year, and congratulations to Jasper High for recognizing that talent when they had it and starting him for 4 years. Incredible. Well, once again, going through all of our winners, our special teams player of the year, Heath Miller of Curry, our lineman of the year, Grant Bailey of Jasper, defensive player of the year, Connor Lane of Addison, offensive player of the year, Tyler Thomas of Oakman, head coach of the year goes to Addison's Mark Hastings, and our Wal-Win MVP, Jasper's Mekhi Pledger. All of those awards will be given to you after the new year. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today and this whole season. It was an incredible year of football, guys. And we can't wait for it to start back up with another WJLX Media Day in the summer. So we'll be looking forward to that. Thank you to our season sponsors, to the coaches, teams who came on our many shows throughout the football season, to the fans for following along with us. And thank you guys for putting together just some amazing broadcasts, amazing content. You guys were in here a lot more hours than people realize, and we appreciate y'all as well. With that, we wish you all a great end of 2025, a happy new year, and we've got some basketball, but if you're just following along for football, then we will see you at the WJLX Media Days in the summer. More to come on that. Happy New Year's, everyone. Thank you guys, and we will see you all on the court. Basketball coming up. Have a great New Year's.